of reinvention. It demonstrates to the community that one size fits none, that we as a school system need to continue to innovate. We need to continue to develop innovative programs, educational programs, applications, and initiatives that captivate the imagination of students of all ages, address the needs of our community, and seamlessly provide a pathway from the schoolhouse to the greater economy right here in Miami-Dade. What we have to present to you today is probably the most dramatic, most robust expansion of educational programs, choice programs ever in the history of the school system. You've gotten accustomed to us rolling out 30 new magnet and choice programs in one single year. This year, we are rolling out 53 magnet and other choice programs with a variety and a diversity of interests for all students, all zip codes in our community. We are building equity and access, sparing no community in Miami-Dade, providing access to the highest level of educational programs for every single child. And we are doing it in a creative, colorful, exciting way, building rigor and relevance to the excitement of learning. When shall we do this? How about beginning August 24th, the very first day of school? But we're not going to stop there. In addition to the 53 new educational programs, as I said, the most dramatic expansion ever, we are adding 25 additional initiatives district-wide. Now, staff is going to run through these different initiatives, but let me just point out a few for you. We know that sick kids cannot learn. We are opening not just one, we are opening 3, maybe 4 additional health clinics this year. Not only for students, but for our employees in the north, in the west, in the south. In addition to a $1.5 million investment in collaboration with Florida International University for a full service clinic, not only for the students, but also for the residents of the Liberty City area to be housed at Northwestern Senior High School. We are a diverse community. Languages are important. Spanish is important. French is important. I am married to an Italian. Italian is important. There is a growing demand in our community for Italian language programs. As part of our bilingual expansion, we are adding Italian in a number of our schools. Safety is important. The Police Explorer program is one of the most successful in the community. But up until now, our school board police did not have an Explorer program. We are building a Miami-Dade County Public School Police Department Explorer program. Everybody loves CSI. Why not build a forensic science program right here in Miami-Dade? We are doing that too. How about cybersecurity? If we are to populate the jobs that will be available in our community right now and in the near future, we are to start at the middle level and secondary level, the senior high school level. We are initiating cybersecurity programs in Miami-Dade. New capstone programs, new Cambridge programs throughout all of Miami-Dade. New medical and health science academies all throughout Miami-Dade. New STEM and STEAM programs incorporating arts into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But we're not done. We know that we live in a big county, and sometimes the drive from home to school on a bus is a long one. We are making headlines across the country in terms of our dramatic expansion in terms of digital convergence, empowering students with devices. You'll hear from staff that we're deploying an additional 50,000 devices this year. Tablets for students with autism, tablets for and computers for 9th and 10th graders in a number of additional subject areas. But while they're on a bus, why can't they learn? So we are launching Wi-Fi bus, Wi-Fi on the go, or Wi-Fi on wheels. We're outfitting school buses with Wi-Fi, allowing students educational time on their ride to school. We know in certain zip codes, students are deprived of high-quality educational opportunities because of where they live and where the choice program may be. And sometimes transportation is not available because it falls outside of the attendance area. If we are about equity and access, we need to crack that code. How do we do it? Flex stops in Miami-Dade, beginning with a dramatic pilot program allowing underserved communities access to these flex stops, hubs, to transport them to these schools? How about for parents who often worry whether or not the bus is running on time, where their child is at any point in time? GPS installations on school buses that are synced with an application that parents can access to be able to track the progress of the school bus anytime, anywhere. We hear often Raquel Regalado speak about girls that code and anything that is codable.
Yes.
We are making a significant investment in the expansion of coding programs across the district. In schools, out of school, through partnership with the Idea Center at Miami-Dade College, the future is here. Not tomorrow, the future is here right now. In total, 16 new magnet programs, 12 new choice non-magnet programs, in addition to dozens of new expanded international baccalaureate, Cambridge, and capstone programs all across the district. This is Christmas in July. This is Hanukkah in August. This is Kwanzaa right in the middle of the summer. For us, this is the most important time of the year, when we get the community excited about the new portfolio of options and choices that dignify and elevate the quality of education in our community. I started by saying that this is the ritual of reinvention, one that we bring upon ourselves because we want to do the very best for our community. And Madam Chair, members of the board, we do this just weeks after we launched our budget, a budget that provides no single layoff of teachers for economic reasons, that reduces our taxes, that invests $30 million in a collective bargaining reserve to augment salaries for teachers, that expands bilingual program funding by $4 million, that adds $3.5 million to hire 60 additional counselors, that shall break the schoolhouse to jailhouse pipeline by disrupting and seeking the elimination of traditional out-of-school suspensions. This is a values-based budget, one that brings sports to KA centers. We're sparing no opportunity to do that which is right for our kids, for our community, and for our employees. I'm excited about 15-16. I've told the board that this is my 7th budget. In reality, we've done 7.5 budgets. Because if you remember the very first year, we had to fix a lot. We are now in a position where the early years of efficiencies that led to innovation are now deep-rooted in systemic transformation, and people are paying attention. With that said, buckle up. We're going to take you on a ride over the next few minutes over all that is new for the 15-16 school year. This is about having 2020 vision. It is about improving our community. It is about dramatically expanding equity and access, choice for all students. It is about being leaders not only in our community, but nationally in terms of what makes sense for education. But with that said, I'd like to turn it over to our staff to begin the presentation along the pillars that you recently approved as part of our strategic plan. Every one of these new products, every one of these new initiatives, every one of these new school programs fall within the pillars that constitute the strategic guide map for our school system. Madam Chair, members of the board, I am proud of this work. This is about kids, about parents, it is about community. We are turning the page, we have turned the corner, we are headed towards greatness, and it begins right now. Steph?
Good morning. I think that deserves maybe a round of applause. Yes, the superintendent is a wee bit excited, but we can tell you that as members of his cabinet, we are extremely excited about the 15-16 school year, and it gives me great pleasure to present the maps on behalf of Pillar 1, though that pillar is relevant, rigorous, and innovative academic programs. The first map within Pillar 1 is in response to national and local growing needs for workers nationwide and locally in science, technology, engineering, and math. We will be establishing the annual STEM school designation program right here in Miami-Dade. It will be the first such program in the state of Florida. In fact, folks from the Bureau or the Department of Education in Tallahassee have already been down and they're very interested and curious about what it is we're doing with STEM. We know that many of our schools have wonderful programs in science, technology, engineering, and math. We want to encourage the expansion of such programs and help them market their schools as programs that are rigorous within the STEM field. To that end, we will be offering 3 distinct recognition levels to schools that apply for such fields. Platinum, gold, and silver will be offered to schools with existing or growing STEM programs to encourage their growth and performance in the area of STEM. This map is very specific to our One Community, One Goal alignment, where we seek to align our K-16 educational programs to those emerging job markets and careers in the area of STEM. Our next map is Values Matter. There are important conversations taking place at the local, state, and federal levels regarding ways to improve student behavior and alternatives to student suspension. In fact, just recently, Ms. Brown, Mr. Carvalho, and I traveled to Washington, to the White House, to a Rethink School Discipline Conference. We had conversations with colleagues all over the nation about the importance of keeping students in school. Mr. Carvalho says, and has said publicly many times, suspensions are a costly proposition. Students who are not in school don't learn. In 15-16, we are working both in school operations and in academics and transformation, particularly with student services teams, to launch a year-long campaign where we will emphasize our district, our school board's 9 core values by highlighting 1 core value each month. This map is called Values Matter. We will be emphasizing each month values such as citizenship, cooperation, fairness, honesty, integrity, kindness, the pursuit of excellence, respect and responsibility, cornerstones of our strategic plan. Students will be exposed to engaging, meaningful, and grade appropriate core values, activities that are going to be delineated and designed for the school sites to use that will introduce and reinforce the development of positive student behavior. Materials will be provided to schools, and we will have a full-on social media campaign highlighting that value of the month. You will see a large blitz at the beginning of the year to launch this map the first 2 weeks of school in all grade configurations, but it is a year-long course. In addition to this map in particular, we have done a large investment and committed a large amount of money, approximately $3 million, in boosting and shoring up guidance counselors, or what we fondly call now student support coaches, or success coaches rather, at the elementary and middle school level. We know that students that are suspended frequently have a very high chance of meeting that prison pipeline, and we want to break that pipeline by helping our students when those first behaviors are exhibited in the early years. We feel, and we have calculated, that we will be able to bring on an additional 50 to 60 student success coaches into our schools, and we're in the process of identifying those schools very strategically now, looking at metrics such as early warning systems. We're looking at student code of conduct violations. We're looking at attendance and other metrics to make sure that our deployment of these personnel, these very highly qualified people, are in our most needy and most needing classrooms and schools.
Before we jump to the next map, I just want to linger 30 more seconds here. We know how to address the 3 R's of reading, writing, and arithmetic, but I think we all agree that if students are not ready in terms of their own personal and civic adequacy, in terms of respect, responsibility, restraint, their ability to learn is not as good as it should be. So my commitment is to, during the first week of school, actually spend time, good time, in opening the minds and hearts of kids on the issues of respect, responsibility, and restrained behavior, on the issues of personal adequacy, on the issues of understanding their own emotional reactions to their colleagues and others in schools. We must do that. We spent a lot of time this summer speaking with teachers and principals about this concept. We can no longer assume that if we do not teach behavioral expectations, that students show up at the school on the first day ready to learn, demonstrating the appropriate behavior that we expect. It is going to be time well invested, and it is the essence of this map called Values Map.
Thank you. Our next map is Universal I-Code 2.0. And the reason it's called 2.0 is because we had started this work last year. In 2014, Miami-Dade County Public Schools emphasized enrichment opportunities in coding through robotics competitions, through our STEM Tech Olympiad, the SECME Olympiad, the SECME Stars 3 after-school program, our STEM Expo, our M-DCPS Humanoid Robot Initiative, and our Hour of Code Challenge, among many others. Many of you have participated in a lot of these events. For 2015-16, M-DCPS will continue to promote these efforts and launch the following new initiatives. We will be offering computer science curriculum through code.org in up to 50 elementary schools. This will also be the inaugural year for the VEX IQ Robotics and Programming Challenge for elementary schools at the STEM Expo and the Miami-Dade County Fair and Exposition. In middle school, we will be offering coding curriculum through code.org in our physical science honors and algebra 1 honors courses. Through the Verizon Gateway Grant, we will be offering Project Lead the Way Gateway Introduction to Computer Science units in 7 middle schools. In M-DCPS, our partnership with the Miami-Dade College Idea Center will be providing our high school students with the opportunity to apply to participate in a 20-week rigorous computer science course called Launch Code CS50. Mr. Carvalho and I had the pleasure of visiting the Idea Center and actually witnessing this course in action with some of our students. We will be able to grant 20 week-long scholarships for our students at Miami-Dade County Wolfson, Homestead, and North Campus through the Launch Code High School Initiative this year. This is an investment of over $80,000. Also in high school, we will be offering Exploring Computer Science curricula through code.org in the Information Technology course. As a result of this board's interest in providing more opportunities for female students in order to increase their participation in STEM, we will be promoting and supporting female-specific engineering and coding competitions throughout our district. These competitions include DigiGirls, Geeky Wood, Cisco Latin American Girls Conference, and Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day. Our next map is really a continuation of our digital convergence project. As you know, last year we provided tablets for our 9th grade high school students enrolled in World History for home and school use, and classroom sets for all of our middle school's 7th grade civics classes. The next 2 maps will place additional devices in students' hands, both in the classroom and at home. The middle school ELA, English Language Arts Blended Learning Project, will provide 10 selected middle schools with access to multimedia-rich, adaptive, and fully digital English Language Arts curricula for the next 3 years. 15-16 will be the 6th grade launch, and the schools are on the board in front of you. Each participating student will receive a tablet for use in school and at home, and the teachers will receive job-embedded coaching as well as professional development throughout the year. This year, we'll also provide tablets to all middle school students in 8th grade U.S. History classrooms and all 10th grade high school students enrolled in English Language Arts. 8th grade students enrolled in U.S. History will have access to classroom carts with computer tablets, and their 10th grade students will have tablets to take home to support their English Language Arts curriculum or their course. This will give us and bring us an additional 32,000 tablets and 600 teacher mobile devices this year. By fall, we should reach the 100,000 mark set by our superintendent earlier last year. Our next map is also part of our digital convergence, but truly looking at a very specific and fragile student population. Those are our students in the autism spectrum. It is the commitment of this board and our school district to ensure that all students have access to technology. As you know, technology makes visual images more accessible and makes learning a lot more fun. Computer graphics capture and maintain the attention of all students, but especially students with autism, making their learning experience more enjoyable and more engaging. In order to address the specific needs of this type of learner, the Tablets for Students with Autism program will provide 500 tablets to students in self-contained autism centers at 19 middle schools or K-8 centers and K-8 centers to facilitate access to web-based tools that promote language learning, emotional development, and the development of social and communication skills. And those schools, those 19 middle schools and K-8s are on the board before you. Our next map is the school mobile app. There are a lot of folks out there that are pitching mobile apps to our schools and to our principals. We are in the market for the school mobile app. We as central office want to provide a consistent interface for all of our parents, regardless of what school their child is enrolled in. As a result of that effort, ITS and the great little geniuses at our own Genius Bar at ITS have developed the school mobile app. Last year, we introduced the mobile app for elementary, middle, and senior high schools to provide a mechanism by which parents and students could have access to district and school information via their mobile device. This year, that app has been enhanced and will be more specific to each individual school. In fact, right now, principals are going online and customizing their app so that it meets the individual needs and which modules they choose to select and how they wish to portray their school on either an Android or an Apple or Windows device. The principal will be able to enable features for their schools such as principal messages, links to social media, links to video, and the like. The app also offers a feature to automatically update the school website. It also provides a staff directory highlighting important numbers, as well as a link to the gradebook. And with the launch of the Wi-Fi on the go and the GPS on our school buses, we look forward to interfacing and connecting those modules to our school mobile app as well. Both magnet and non-magnet options that we have before our students this year and our families. He is right in asserting that it is the largest and most aggressive choice reform or choice movement that this district has ever had. This summer, during the peak of movie season and premiere season, many of us took our children or our friends of children's friends to see the movie Minions. And during the broadcast of Minions at our local movie theaters, we pitched our magnet choices to all of the parents and families in our community. And I think we will be able to show you what that looked like. Cue the video. Thank you very much. Just so that you can understand how aggressive this launch really is, let's put it in a little bit of a historical perspective, shall we? In 2010, 2011, we added 7 new choice programs. In 2011, 2012, we added 18. In 2012, 2013, there were 36. In 13-14, there were 42 new programs. In 14-15, there were 52 new programs and 3 new small high schools. And this year, we're adding another 53. For a total of 207 new choice programs in Miami-Dade County. There are now more than 500 choice program offerings in Miami-Dade. This year alone, we are adding 16 programs, magnet that is, in 12 schools, 12 choice programs, non-magnet, usually academies in nature, in 9 schools. We are adding 18 Cambridge programs in 14 schools and 7 capstone programs in 7 schools. Quite the accomplishment. In Cambridge, we will be rolling out 18 new programs for a total of now 80 new programs in 70 schools over a 3-year period. The schools that will be bringing on the Cambridge curricula for 15-16 are in the board before you. This is an internationally benchmarked curricula at all levels, K through 12, through Cambridge International Examinations and part of the University of Cambridge. In an expanding partnership beginning in 13-14, Miami-Dade County Public Schools committed to over 80 Cambridge programs over a 3-year period. And today, we fulfill that commitment. With a focus on high-level studies in math, science, and language, these programs will challenge students as they move through the world-renowned Cambridge Continuum. Cambridge Primary for learners aged 5 to 11, Secondary 1 for learners aged 11 through 14, and Cambridge Advanced, leading to the Advanced International Certificate of Education Diploma in high school. Our next map is the AP Capstone. There will be an additional 7 senior high schools implementing the AP Capstone program during the 15-16 school year, and those schools are listed before you. In conclusion, for the 4th year in a row, M-DCPS has been awarded more Magnet Schools of America National Merit Awards than any other school district in the nation. In 4 years, M-DCPS schools has been awarded over 115 National Merit Awards. Before you are the 16 new magnet programs and their logos and their marketing materials. In addition to these new magnet programs, we also have 11 new non-magnet program offerings. All of them will be operational in 15-16. And their renderings and their promotional products are in front of you at this time and around the room.
Just before you move on, I mean, I just want to linger on this for a little bit. Whether it's magnet or non-magnet, the vast array of diversity in terms of educational program is really stunning. Kids like to cook, and it appears to me these days, chefs are as close to celebrities as anything. We have that. If they like teaching, academies, global trade, logistics, we have that too. Forensic science, as I said. French, Italian, Spanish, cybersecurity, performing arts, computer science, coding. We must continue to embrace the concept that one size fits none. One size fits none. And to the extent we want to teach today's child, we need to engage them where they are, create an educational journey that is tailored to what they need and what they like, to create both rigor and relevance around their wishes and wants. That's the way we can act. Couple that with fantastic leadership and expert teaching, and I can guarantee you that the school system we envision ourselves to be is just around the corner, and it begins with choice.
Thank you. And that is the essence of Pillar 1. And now, to provide you with maps in Pillar 2, safe, healthy, and supportive learning environments, Ms. Faustina Brown.
Good morning. As a segue into Pillar 2, where we're going to discuss our safe, healthy, and supportive learning environments, we start with Flex Stops, which builds on the presentation that Ms. Izquierdo about our new magnet and choice programs. Demand versus eligibility is the way we're going with our transportation. Providing choice, expanding opportunities, and first of all, also providing equity to all students. This year, we will be expanding to Flex Stops, which will allow magnet students that had not had access in the past to have access to transportation to be able to access their education. One size does not fit all. Thus, we are creating avenues so that students can be able to get to those programs that best suit their needs. Next, GPS bus pilot. Safety, security, accountability, and more than anything else, parents asking, where is my child? This map that we are launching this year will be launched in 3 phases to ensure that the safety, security, and accountability of our students, our bus drivers, and our property, as well as improving communications with parents on arrival times, bus stops. We are initiating this map to allow us to make sure that accountability of all of our students are successful.
Just so that the board understands, we're not doing this all buses in the first year. It's logistically impossible. We are doing 1/3 of our buses this year, and just to remind you, we have the largest school bus fleet in the world. 1/3 this year. We will try to accelerate the other 2/3 going into next year. The school buses that we'll be targeting are obviously those that have the longest rides, have experienced some difficulties in terms of parents, but also those that are outfitted with the most recent buses. If we're going to make improvements to the buses, there ought to be the buses that are going to be with us for years to come, rather than the ones that we will be retiring within the near future.
Our next map is Wi-Fi on-the-go pilot. 24/7. You've heard us talk about education 24/7. This expands our educational opportunities to our students when they are on the bus. We offering students the ability to do their websites, do their assignments. In addition, it'll also help hopefully with behavior of students on the bus as well. Wi-Fi on the go will expand opportunities for teaching and learning to take place aboard of school buses, doing field trips, and when students are being transported to their homes and to school. This will also, we will be exploring the possibility of providing hotspots in our community when students are engaged in activities, which will allow the hotspots for the students possibly in parks and in communities as we move forward.
I want to linger again a second here. We know where the digital deserts are in our community. We know which zip codes those are. Just think about the fact that a school bus on a park automatically transforms that digital desert into fertile ground for digital exploration. Easy idea at no additional cost. Has to be done. I've been to many parks, many areas of our community where if it weren't for libraries or schools, children would not have access to digital content and digital resources. That digital gap must be eliminated, not within our lifetime, must be eliminated now. And this novelty, this concept of outfitting school buses with repeater signal opportunity to expand internet access, not only on the bus, but surrounding areas. So wherever the bus goes, there is digital opportunity and learning on the go. Easy idea, great potential, and it's going to happen this school year.
Our next map is reframing alternative education. We spent a lot of times over the last couple of years talking about alternative education and support to students. This map actually builds on the values matter map that Ms. Izquierdo explained earlier. We're not just adding programs, we're just not doing program expansions. With this map, what we're doing is actually re-engineering everything that we do in alternative ed, as well as providing prevention services to students starting very early on. With this map, we will be concentrating on our core values of citizenship, cooperation, fairness, honesty, integrity, kindness, the pursuit of excellence, respect, and responsibility. The superintendent mentioned earlier about eliminating traditional out-of-school suspensions as we know it now. With this re-engineering, we will be employing new ideas, new programs to make sure that the envelope of safety around all of our students are there at all times. We will be delivering things like alternatives to outdoor suspension centers, creating community change youth empowerment programs, which are in-school program for students in the middle school, where we will be identifying 60 students for 8 middle schools that may be in need of additional wraparound services. We will also be looking at success academies, looking at 16-year-old students new to our country, which may need daytime diploma options, so that as coupled with vocational programs to make them successful. We will also be realigning. We will be looking at our major and our minor violations in our code of student conduct. What I can tell you is that all administrators will be trained, all teachers will be trained, and we will be spending the first 2 weeks of schools looking at the values and what matters, as well as re-engineering our employees of how we look at student behavior moving forward. This is not just an addition. This is actually re-engineering the way we engage students at all levels, both preventative and students that may need our additional support as they move forward in their educational career.
In fact, if I may, we should highlight the positive behavior that our kids demonstrate. The headlines unfortunately speak on the other side of that equation. So it is our goal, beginning with the first board meeting of the school year, to bring to the board examples, student examples of great behavior. Students caught doing the great right things. We ought to showcase them as part of what we value. And there's no better opportunity than doing it during a school board meeting. And that's going to start during the September board meeting.
Our next map is what we're very also excited about. We've been talking about sports in our K-8 centers for quite some time. We've afforded the opportunity for our K-8 students in 6 to 8 to be involved in intramural sports This year, with the launch and expansion, our K-8 students in our K-8 centers will be able to be involved in interscholastic sports with competition. This competition will promote competence, character, and sportsmanship, and we're excited about this one.
I'll tee up the next one. We have not had a hurricane in 10 years. 70% of our principals have not experienced the shutting down of the school system and the reopening of schools post-emergency. You know it's a daunting task. It is a massive endeavor. We have optimized the process, and Ms. Brown will explain this new survey app. I'm sorry, Mr. Torrance, as we transition to Mr. Torrance, will explain how a digital app will make the process of preparation and survey damage assessment much easier with rapid response to those entities that will bring schools up into operational status post an emergency. Jim?
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. We really have been blessed since October of 2005, when we were visited by Hurricane Wilma, that we have not been impacted directly by hurricane. However, during this time, we've continued to refine our planning and refine our response mechanisms and make sure that we are adapting to new technology that's now available with the advent of communications technology. So this new app really provides us an opportunity to have direct information from principals, including visuals, videos, and pictures that will determine our capability to respond and reopen schools following an emergency. This is a feature we have not had before. It was a manual process, so this will allow us to make the determination when schools reopen, because we know that's a crucial element of restoring normalcy in a community after an emergency. So this is a really valuable tool that will allow us at the command center to make those decisions. And I'd also like to announce that before the opening of schools this year, due to the number of new principals, we will be conducting a live drill to test not just this, but all aspects of our emergency readiness. The board and the media will be invited to that event so that we can make sure we showcase our capabilities. That concludes pillar 2.
And I do want to add that we have several tablets out here. It's also one of the wonderful ITS geniuses that created this mobile app for our damage assessment and for Jim's shop. And I think Mr. Carvalho's passing it around. We can demonstrate to you what that looks like so that you can, if you're a visual person like me, you can get an idea. We also have examples of that school mobile app, which is up on one of these boards up here, what that prototype looks like. Then we'll pass it around at the conclusion of this presentation. And now I believe Mr. Dotris will introduce Pillar 3.
Good afternoon. Pillar 3 speaks to the development of highly effective leaders, teachers, and staff. And with that, we're introducing the My Learning Plan OASIS platform map, which will become an important tool in the development of highly effective leaders and addressing and supporting the professional growth of teachers. This digital platform will facilitate the integration of observation and evaluation results with a full range of available professional development opportunities. It will also provide a flexible and rich process that links observation information with targeted professional development. In essence, the OASIS tool will empower us to introduce a more systemic approach that, number one, deliberately aligns professional development with the individual needs of teachers, and it provides clearly delineated professional learning opportunities to enhance instructional practice. And ultimately, it will support a stronger focus on professional growth in response to observation and evaluation feedback. And now I will turn to Ms. Izquierdo for Pillar 4.
Thank you. Pillar 4, informed, engaged, and empowered stakeholders. The following initiatives are part of Pillar 4. The first is Magnet STARS, School Targeted Assistive Recruitment System. That's a mouthful. If you recall from both our broad as well as our advanced ed visits, many a recommendation was made, as well as a commendation on our wide portfolio of magnet choices. But among the recommendations that were made by both entities, and one of the strategies and the goals and objectives that we set for ourselves in Vision 2020, is to make sure that access and equity is primordial in our magnet recruitment systems and in our processes. To that end, we will be launching an online system that would assist administrators and magnet lead teachers to identify and develop strategies for a broad recruitment effort. This will make the magnet application process more representative of all student groups in a way that is fair, transparent, and efficient. The goal is to provide a process for target marketing to underserved students and zip codes and for greater participation in the magnet application process. This process will provide clarity to parents as it pertains to programming and entrance criteria and highlight transparency in the selection. This will further our commitment to improving a tenet of Vision 2020, improving our customer service. And now I will turn it over to Mr. Kitchell, Deputy Chief of Police.
Good morning, everybody. As the superintendent said, that we are in the district proud to say that we're nationally recognized as an organization that reduces arrests and for juveniles that have created diversionary programs that have been leaders and mentors of our children. And the next slides we're going to be talking about, we believe we're going to continue on with our success as we build on what we've done in the past. The first one is the gang resistant education and training, great for students and families. The program is intended to reduce delinquency, youth violence, gang membership of children in grades 3 through 7. It focuses on providing life skills to students to help them avoid using delinquent behavior and violence to solve problems. This year, our goal is to identify 3,000 students, 12 schools throughout the district and our most vulnerable communities to address the issues of youth delinquency. So one other thing that happens with this program is also the family component. We know that it's not enough for us just to go in and deliver a program to the children, but also it involves the family. And a lot of times in the district, I know in the district, but in the world, the nation, we forget our children and their families. And this program is going to be offering to parents services who will be identified and given an opportunity to participate in focus groups and counseling throughout the year. It's a 6-week program, and we'll be providing services to our parents. In addition to that, it has great summer camps. Currently, right now, our officers are out with the city of Miami, and they're with our children. They're leading and guiding and mentoring them right now as we speak. There's even a component for safety and swimming, which will be concluding this month. The next slide is our school safety and patrol training program. This existing program is designed to instill a sense of responsibility and leadership in students by assisting their classmates and ensuring their safety on school each day. M-DCPS will be partnering with school operations to enhance the school safety patrol program, ensuring the program is implemented in every elementary school, standardize protocols, and follow and to ensure accountability. What we're going to be doing is looking at the schools that either are not having a safety patrol or they need assistance in creating a safety patrol or enhancing safety patrol, and we're going to be focusing on those schools. And something that is different with this program this year, we're going to be allowing parents to volunteer. Schools, security, and safety is not just the district's issue. This is a community issue. And one element that is often left out is the parents. By allowing them to volunteer, we'll bring them in, we will train them. Once they receive a certificate, they can go back to the school and they'll become our eyes and ear, another level of security around the school. To see something, they can say something. And we're very excited about that. The final one that we're very excited about, and the superintendent spoke to it, is our Explore program. And yes, that there has been Explore programs in the past to other municipalities. This began 20 years ago when the chief and I were young officers in the South Dade. We noticed that there were a lot of students that came in with uniforms. They were from another department. We always asked, why can't we have our own? Well, the chief came in a year ago or a couple years ago, but last year he met with us and he advised staff, we want our own Explore program. And I'm proud to say today that as of July 1st, we have 3 posts, one south, one north, and one central. We currently have 30 students that are current explorers. I wanted to bring them today to introduce you, but they're in an academy, the first academy that's ever occurred, hosted by our department and Miami-Dade College School of Justice. For the last couple days, and for the next week, our students, there's 46 students from across the county that are at the academy. They're experiencing, walking the halls of the academy. They're seeing other cadets. They're seeing what this job is about. We know that through experience that many students and youth who enter into this program, they become law enforcement officers as a career. This isn't just a career, it's a calling, and I can tell you personally that's what it is. And by us taking a leadership role, we're gonna have an ability to mold and shape the future of our law enforcement, which I think is very important. One last thing, as the superintendent said, that the CSI, and there's an educational portion as our students go into classrooms. They learn ethics, they learn, as you know, law enforcement procedures, they learn interpersonal skills, they learn constitutional law. But it's when they actually get the experience of standing and being with other officers that it all comes together. So I think we're just very excited about this program, and you'll be able to watch this on our social media and our webpage. You can see how this progresses in the future.
I think that's the most excited I've seen our deputy chief ever. I think he's used more words in the last 5 minutes than the past 5 years, which is great. The Parent Ambassador Program now.
For the Parent Ambassador Program, principals will strategically identify a cadre of parents to serve as ambassadors for their schools. Those parents will be communicating with current parents and future parents regarding the programs in their schools as well as the achievement of their schools. We believe that this will create a welcoming environment for parents and future parents as well as build a community support for our schools. We know parents are the #1 influencers in their child's life, but we also know that they are the #1 influencer of other parents, not only in their schools, but future parents. This initiative is geared towards student retention.
Our next map is the health clinic at Miami Northwestern. As a result of a collaboration with Florida International University and the education of that Northwestern will be receiving $1.45 million in a federal grant to fund a school-based clinic. The federal government scores communities on level of healthcare need on a scale of 1 to 20, with 20 being the highest. Liberty City has a score of 18. Knowing the great need in the community, the new Health Effect Initiative will include partners such as Jesse Trice Community Health Center. This clinic will be not only service the students of Northwestern, but it will also service the students as well as the families in the feeder schools. We're excited. The launch of this will be in November with a soft launch, and the official launch will take place in January.
And moving on to Pillar 5, effective and sustainable business practices. What we hope to achieve here is, as you see this dramatic expansion of educational programs, as you see a dramatic expansion of parental support programs, of community benefit programs such as health initiatives specific to clinics, we ought to rethink the way we do business to make ourselves more nimble in terms of business access to our own employees internally, but also externally when parents are trying to interface with the school district to make payments for activities, for field trips and the like. So this last segment will focus on business improvements that shall be seen in our school system beginning in August.
Thank you, Mr. Carvalho. The first map under this pillar is 21st century banking. Currently, our parents can choose to pay for their children's lunches online from the comfort of their home if they decide to do that. We'd like to expand that to other things for parents, such as field trips, perhaps lost books, club payments. Now, that doesn't mean they can't send the money to school or send a check to school if they choose to do so, but this will allow them to use their debit card or credit card from home to make those payments. It will make it significantly simpler for our treasurers when it's implemented to reconcile accounts, because there'll be downloads from this system for the treasurers to use in reconciling their bank statements. It automates much of the reconciliation process, and it creates better accountability for our schools. So the team in finance is very excited about this rollout. The next map is an expansion of our wellness education program. The objective of the program is to increase wellness activities for our employees. In fact, this map starts tomorrow. We have our second annual SBAB Health Fair over at iPrep tomorrow all day. At the health fair, employees will be able to get biometric screening, PSA screening, they'll be able to get mammograms. The mammogram bus is back on site. Vision screening and dermascan for skin cancer. We'll have tons and tons of literature to hand out to employees on such topics as smoking cessation, diabetes, cholesterol, and skin cancer. There'll be a focus on making smart food choices, including sharing calorie counters with people who attend, portion control visuals. Everyone who comes and visits us tomorrow will get a fresh box of fruit, as well as a well-weighed gym bag and a salad bowl. So it's exciting. We really get a good turnout every year, and we hope you can all join us.
I'd like to chime in here. The board has taken, demonstrated visionary leadership in terms of the bold steps we've taken to provide high-quality health insurance for our employees at a far lesser cost than other entities. We take pride in the fact that for 2 years in a row, there has been no increase to the employee specific to healthcare protection. We hope to repeat that going into the third year this year at the collective bargaining table. But just like we say that sick kids have a difficulty learning, unhealthy employees are less productive. And there's something that we can actually do about this. And wellness programs, wellness awareness, us actually taking an interest in how our employees, what our employees eat, whether or not they exercise, the types of behaviors they engage in, and help them fashion a better way for themselves. It helps the employee and will reduce ultimately the health insurance liability, which is 100% on us as a self-insured platform entity.
Thank you, Mr. Carvalho. The next map is the expansion of the successful medical centers at district sites. We are attempting to duplicate the great success we have had with our flagship medical center at Jackson Senior High, and we'll be working with the University of Miami to expand the clinic at North Miami Senior High to offer evening hours for employees, their dependents, and our retirees at that site, much like we're offering at Jackson. We are also working with Mr. Torrance staff to identify space in our facilities out west and down south to continue to duplicate what has been a very successful program at Jackson.
And by out west, we mean out west, all west. So I know there's the northwest, there's central west, and there's the deep southwest. So wherever our employees live, we ought to have easy access to high quality, low cost health care. We cannot solely depend on the for-profit or the not for-profit with incredible profit centers in our community. We can do it better by providing a competitive, high-quality healthcare program with close to nothing in terms of co-insurance or co-payments. Right now, at the Jackson Clinic, and I go there, the co-payment is $10. And for a lot of the procedures, examinations, and checks, it's $0. We ought to replicate that as a benefit to all of our employees. We can do better as a community. That is why in Miami-Dade, rather than the 9, 10, 11, 12% healthcare cost increase within this geographical area of South Florida, we experience an increase that is about half of that because we have greater control over the claims. We understand the health profile of our employees, and we try to match healthcare delivery options that make sense in our community. Workplace.
The next map is our workplace safety initiative, and this is one I'm really excited about. Our goal with this initiative is to reduce the cost of workers' compensation by 5% this year, or $1.8 million. We have tremendous amounts of data. The board approved the addition of 2 positions to the workers' comp workforce, so we now have a staff member assigned to the north, the south, and the central region that will work with schools who have high incidences of accidents at that school to determine the causes. Is it something that needs to be fixed? Is it equipment that needs to be replaced? Is it a culture that's developed at that school that needs to be addressed? We're looking at buying the correct footwear for all our food service staff to make sure we reduce the number of incidences in our kitchen, which are very high, slip and fall accidents. We're looking at providing our staff with step ladders so they don't put chairs on top of desks and fall.
Now, some of this may seem a little silly, but actually it isn't.
It costs us a lot
The
of money.
profile, the rate of incidence in our school system, slip and fall in cafeterias, of teachers and paraprofessionals stepping on student desks or their own desks to hang things from the ceiling are incredible. In total, the cost of the system in terms of workman's comp is around $30 million per year. So we have to do better. And part of doing better, research indicates we better invest in something that makes sense for our employees. Buy them the appropriate footwear, non-slip. Buy the step ladders. Buy the boots for employees that are out there in the field. It makes sense, we should be doing that, and that is exactly what we're gonna be doing starting this next school year.
I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Torrance for the last map under Pillar 5.
Thank you, Ms. Marte. Another important piece of improving our efficiency is the efficiency of our school buildings and our facilities. Guaranteed energy performance contracting will allow us to do this. The bond has allowed us to make significant inroads in our deferred facilities needs, and will continue to do so. However, there are still opportunities to maximize the efficiency and the operations of our schools. Guaranteed energy performance contracting essentially provides a no-cost mechanism to do this. We're already paying these expenditures to utility companies, so what we would do is, from those expenditures, fund this program. So the savings that are generated would exceed the amount that the capital investment would require. So this is a self-funded program. The time is right to do this. We can pair it with our bond program, our bond rollout to address ongoing needs at our schools, and most specifically to energy-consuming systems such as air conditioning, lighting, and other mechanical systems in the schools. So we're very excited to get this launched and impact as many schools as we possibly can in the 15-16 school year.
So, Madam Chair, members of the board, number one, thank you, staff, for your presentations. It was a little bit long, but we promised you this was going to be the most dramatic expansion of educational programs and initiatives district-wide benefiting students, parents, our own workforce. With 53 new educational programs, in addition to 25 massive initiatives and program enhancements in terms of business operations, logistical, operational issues, student transportation, wellness programs, health clinics. Yes, it is a massive expansion of who we are, what we stand for, what we value, and how we fund it. That is why this meeting was so important. I'm excited about the 15-16 school year. I'm excited about the fact that we have finally the ability to declare that the recession is behind us, that we have an opportunity not only to advance a budget that drives our values, a budget that protects employees and teachers, a budget that reduces the tax rate, a budget that adds counselors to schools, a budget that adds an 8-period day for high schools, a budget that invests more in safety and security, but invests twice as much in prevention and the disruption of that traditional pipeline of the schoolhouse to the jailhouse by engaging in better alternatives to traditional discipline. A budget that delivers these 53 new educational programs. So I am proud of the work that's being done. I cannot wait for August 24th for the very first day of school, and this represents Vision 2020.